Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Breeze. Breezeway Productions The Breeze. We bring you the latest in independent films and film festival news, and we continue our coverage of this year's Slamdance Film Festival, the 2023 edition. And we have with us today filmmaker Remy Van Heughten to talk about his film Mascot, playing at the festival this year. How are you, Remy?
I'm brilliant. Thanks.
Right
Nice
on.
to be here.
Well, thank you for coming on the show and taking the time to talk about Mascot. So, first and foremost, tell us a little about the project.
Yeah, it's quite a personal story. It tells a story of a family adrift, I'd say. In particular of a teenager, Jerry, who completely loses his sense of limits and becomes quite radical and violent despite all the efforts of his mother to protect him.
Interesting. So is this anything that's like an idea that was brought from a personal experience, or where did you create this? Because you were also the writer of the film.
Yeah, I wrote it together with Gustav Peek. It's a script writer. I work with also my on my other former feature, it's a kind of a bunch of ideas we put together, but it started off of a kind of our well, I would say worry about all the about a huge number of ultra violent incidents by young adolescents in the Netherlands. It's frighteningly rising, especially after the coronavirus. We made it during the coronavirus, but it's we were quite worried about confused teenagers and
Okay.
people whose thinking are like completely influenced by I'd say the enormous power of social media algorithms and abundance of fake news, online violence, pornography. And this is a story of a very confused boy in all these powers working on him.
Yeah, we have that here in the States as well. It is a serious problem, especially what goes on in schools. It is kind of terrifying now to be an educator, or at least around people in that demographic who can be considered unstable. We read about it in the news way too frequently. So this is something that you said happens also frequently in Holland. Is this something that people should like learn from? Is there some guidance in this film of how to steer a teen in the right direction, or just more of an expose about watching it unfold?
I think the latter. I'm always a bit scared of making movies with a pointing finger, but I think it's a very touching story of a boy who's actually quite gentle and nice, and he just makes the wrong decisions all the time. And I think there's a kind of hope that he'll put it back together, and his mother trying to help him. And you see the little cracks of, as you say, an unfolding radicalization, I'd say.
Yeah. And what areas is he becoming radicalized? Is this something that deals with like Holland politics or world politics, or what is he looking at in the film that makes him, be led astray?
I'd say he becomes extreme in all sorts of way in violence. So he confuses like just a normal discussion with violence. He confuses love with pornography. Even friendship can be it can just snap in any moment, and it's a definite thing. So he loses his way to argue, in the end, he just sees like one. It's kind of he creates a tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Would you say it kind of has a comparison towards American History X or things like that, where we saw a film of someone that was brought up in a very violent, environment, and then that kind of you become a product of your own environment, with your lead, who. And of course, you also have to find the correct character for this. So tell me about the young man that plays the disturbed teen.
Yeah, it's always difficult to find or challenging to find a 17-year-old actor, because it's always new for them. There's not that many children's actors in the Netherlands, and of course, we wanted to find somebody who could like properly fight, because this is a character that fights a lot. And of course, you want to look for the right actor, but we found a guy. He's called Liam Jeans. um, he's British originally, and he used to be like an almost professional boxer. He was Dutch champion even, and it was unbelievable because he's the concentration boxers have kind of reminds me of actors. So he's unbelievably well in just reacting, and he keeps an enormous focus. And even that he was like totally inexperienced to act, he just blew us away. And we put a lot of good actors with him, like his the single mother he plays with, and all his friends around him. That's more like professional actors. And it was a warm bath for him. I was surprised, to be honest.
I've seen this in a couple of other films that have gone on to film festivals, where there are actors that are taking part in the project and they've never had any experience acting, yet they were found because they did an unbelievable performance with skills they didn't know that they had, and they do a film like this, and then their career can skyrocket from there. I think that's pretty fascinating of how you were able to find him and then work with him with that. So when audiences go and check this out, do you feel like this might be helpful for parents to have more awareness of what's going on with their children, or do you try to tell them that they should be more involved in their lives, or that more children need help? Like where is the overall theme lying after the conclusion of the film?
I always like to put up a discussion about where we are in a certain moment of time. With the movies I make, I always want to make kind of a footprint of what's going on. And I believe the theme is way too big to put that in a few, tips and,
Sure.
parenting advice. I mean, I'm a parent myself, and it's, it's a challenging thing, and you will make mistakes. I think this is quite an extreme example of how it could unfold. But I also think, just the conversation about where we are, what the influence of social media is, the phone, people who are constantly monitored by everything, by their friends. How can we set them free again? How can we, make them feel at ease?
Yeah. So, and final question that I have is regarding the title. So how does Mascot tie into all of this?
I believe this boy is a kind of a talisman of the current society. That's the and I'm a bit worried of especially white boys who kind of think the capitalism is the best that could ever happen, and that's
okay.
Yeah, so I keep it to that.
So he's like the mascot of a generation, the figurehead, the showcasing of a serious problem of what is happening amongst a generational demographic, so to say.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Very interesting. Okay. Well, we hope that our audiences are able to check out Mascot, which is going to be screening at Slamdance this year. Do you know when and where the film will be screening at the festival?
Yes, it will be. We'll have its world premiere on Saturday, the 21st of January. At the ballroom at Slamdance, in Park City.
Very nice. We hope our audience is able to check that out. The ballroom, which is going to be at Slamdance in Park City, and if you can't catch it there, you are screening at Rotterdam. For our European followers, if you're interested in checking out that festival, congratulations to that. And we hope that everyone is able to check out Mascot. And again, thank you for spending time with us, Remy Van Heughten, to talk about your film, which is premiering at the festival this year.